My friends, I believe that the crypto meme coin super cycle is going to be on its way very soon. And would you like to learn which cryptocurrencies I believe have 100 to 1000x potential when the money comes in what I believe to be a blow off top coming the end of this year, beginning of next year? Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please leave a like on this video if you love content like this, and subscribe. We're very, very close to 4,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it. Now, we have got what I believe a major catalyst event, which I believe is going to be propelling, finally, the crypto market in the last half of 2025. We have had a very underwhelming flop of a 2025 so far for altcoins. Well, we haven't, if you are Team Suppo, but if you are part of the larger cryptocurrency community, then you will just be nursing losses. Losses you would have been experiencing since January. But I believe that there is going to be a saviour very soon, and we are being set up for it. Now, I'm no fancy TA person. I don't do TA. Right? What I do is I simply invest in bottomed cryptocurrencies that I believe have mega upside. And when the market, ebbs and flows, twos and fro's, and goes up and down, I believe that during the up stages, because I've gotten into certain bottomed cryptocurrencies, and Team Suppo have, then the multipliers are going to be voluminous. But I believe that we are going to have an even greater catalyst to those who have been investing in the cryptocurrencies I've been speaking about lately on my channel, my main channel, and on my live channel. Now, what tends to be overlooked is that people's like, oh, global M2, oh, altcoin season's going to happen, oh, blah, 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 blah. Like there is constantly, bear with me 1 second, let me just make sure that the live stream isn't producing any chat, either on Twitch or on, oh, here we go, yes, it is now. Let me just make sure that everything is fine on, the social medias. Oh, hold on, let me check YouTube first. Ha! Right. Am I playing? Yes, I am live. So let me just share this over to the people of X. There we go. Done and done. So, sun's out. Wimbledon's just started in the UK. I am boiling in this studio, and I am supremely confident, because I don't care, TA or not, I believe we are going to be having basically the repeat of what we have had in every single market cycle in cryptocurrency since its inception, right? 2013, 2017, 2021 saw blow off tops. They saw the conclusion of bull market cycles. They were all post-halving years. Now, we are in a post-halving year, 2025, and I believe we are going to be seeing a repeat of the behaviors that we saw in the past. We're going to be seeing, the Dow, the SPX, the NASDAQ. I think that lots of risk on assets, including cryptocurrency, are going to be blowing in this latter half of the year. And this is why, right? And people forget this. I brought this up as a factor months ago, while we were in the thick of bear trends. And people have just forgotten about it because other people jumped on this bandwagon too. But people forgot about the fact that the US owe 9.2 trillion of debt, which needs to be refinanced based by the end of August. Now, I'm not in the US government. I don't know the exact dates, but they have been rumored to be mid to late August. So basically September is where we should see some impact. Now, they will have to lower rates. The Fed are going to have to lower rates. Why? Because in order to refinance this debt, the US are going to have to issue bonds, right? Which is basically their way of borrowing the money to be able to pay off the debt, right? So they have to issue bonds. So they are borrowing the money. Now, by borrowing the money, at the current yields of like 5%, they're going to be borrowing the money, but having to pay back everybody that money back and 5%. So they're like, yes, you can borrow. So the lenders, they're going to be like, yes, you can borrow the money to pay off or, to refinance your debt and roll on to the next period. But we are going to be wanting 5% yield because that's what the interest rate is right now. So the Fed have to lower rates. They have to. Otherwise, they are just going to be creating a much bigger and bigger burden over time because they're going to be paying off 10 trillion worth of debt, but then they're going to be owing 5% of that 10 trillion to the lenders. And so they have to lower rates in order for them to have less payback, less repercussions, because it's only going to be a worse problem. Now, the people could say, yeah, why don't they print money? They can't print money, because that's going to lead to hyperinflation. It's going to kill off the US dollar, and the US dollar's already dying. So they are going to have to refinance and at lower yields. So they are going to have to lower interest rates. So by September, they need to have lower rates. They need to be paying back this $9 trillion. There's no choice. They can't just say, oh, we'll defer it. They can't do that. Like, they have to pay it off, basically. Like, there's no choice. And they're bound by legality. So they have to do it. Right? So they have to lower rates. What happens when they lower rates? Well, basically we have been, for the longest time, we have been in a Bitcoin season. We've been in a Bitcoin season for, basically the whole of 2025. We've had no light, right? And we only really had a massive altcoin season. Well, we had it at the beginning of last year, and we had it at the end of last year. And now I believe we're being set up for another. It has to be. Look, how much longer can it realistically go without having an altcoin season, right? So Bitcoin is basically holding up the thought. It would never happen ordinarily, but because there's an ETF, an institutional interest now in Bitcoin, now it's being propped up, keeping a very strong Bitcoin season, high Bitcoin dominance across the rest of the market. Just purely because it's not a time to speculate on risk on assets for the wider market. And so Bitcoin has been holding the field up. But I tell you this, these cryptocurrencies, they've pretty much been outperforming Bitcoin, right? Now, let me show you something else, right? Again, why I have called, why this video is entitled that these 100 to 100x meme coins will outperform Altseason. Now, we don't know what Altseason's going to look like. There are people who are saying, oh, there's going to be a big generic altcoin season. AI, DePIN, Bitcoin Layer 2s, DeFi, gaming, RWA, it's all going to be mashed into one great big altcoin super cycle. And I just do not believe that's going to happen because there are too many millions of assets now that you can't spread over so many, right? So basically it's going to come down to what are the strongest cryptocurrencies. And I believe AI is in that field. I believe that meme coins, certain blue chip meme coins have performed Bitcoin. And as a result of that, certainly AI coins, meme coins, possibly RWA, possibly a tiny bit of DeFi and infrastructure. But I think that the big ones are going to be meme coins and AI. They have already shown to outperform Bitcoin by a mile, some of these meme coins. So Fartcoin, SPX. They have been outperforming Bitcoin by a long way. The bigger ones, Chainlink, Ondo, Render, they've gone nowhere. They've done nothing. They've done diddly squat, right? AI coins, on the other hand, and meme coins have been pumping like mad. And as a result of that, the appetite is there. The normie interest is there. There's more people participating in cryptocurrency than there ever has been, right? And as a result of, more market participants, more normies, because actually, more new people I run into these days, and I ask, and I tell them what I do, and they're like, oh yeah, that crypto stuff. Yeah, I know that. I've got a wallet, right? I've got crypto.com, or I've got Binance or Coinbase. But they're like, oh yeah, but what's this? What's XRP? What is Ethereum? What is Solana? Those are the questions I get, right? And normies, I'm just not going to care about any of this stuff. However, when actual content comes out, that they, when they're actually going to be in the thick of speculating, they're going to be looking for, what resonates with me. And that's what I found being a crypto YouTuber for 8 years is that, people are more likely to buy what they understand and get versus something they just don't get. Now, I know this because I have done thousands of YouTube videos, thousands of crypto YouTube videos over 8 years. Remember this, right? So I have got the social proof to say I know when people have gravitated towards a certain coin versus another coin, right? Now, unless that other coin is actually in a hyper narrative, right? So if it's an AI season, like, it doesn't really matter what coin I speak about. Like, people will want it either way. But the one that is an AI coin that people understand or gravitate towards, they buy that way more than they buy the one that sounds more technical, unsexy, right? So I know that people have very normie standards when it comes to cryptocurrency. They really gravitate to where they feel like they're part of the community, like they get it. They just understand the nature of the coin without having to get into any technical details or anything like that. And that's why meme coins are going to be just absolute gold dust during this period, because normies are just going to lap it up. They're going to be like, just take my money. They are going to be. I know this because I have experienced Euphoria in 3 different seasons. And, and it's always the same. People have absolutely zero conscience when it comes to what they put their money in, right? So what we've got is we've just got a potential humongous catalyst event coming, right? And that is that the US debt needs to be refinanced. Okay, it's a non-negotiable, and that, as a result of that, is going to lead to what I believe to be a altcoin season. However, as I have experienced, potentially as I experienced in the past, back in 2021, which was a surprise to me because in 2017 it was like all altcoins went up. Okay, all altcoins, didn't really matter what it was, all altcoins. However, privacy coins at the end of 2017, they went up a little bit more than most others, but all alts went up. In 2021, in the Euphoria stage, it was just gaming, metaverse, meme, launchpads. Those are the 4 that went up. The layer 1s didn't, the layer 0s didn't, infrastructures generally didn't, DeFi definitely didn't. Nothing else did, right? Just games, metaverse, launchpads, and memes, right? So although there was an altcoin season and some 100x's were made, they were only made in those narratives, right? And that's why I believe that although people think there's going to be some generic altcoin season where it's going to be, Chainlink, Render, Ondo, Hyperliquid, everything, just bang, 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 bang. Everything I'm in is just going to go up, right? They're wrong. They're wrong, right? Only the strong ones are going to go up. Only the ones that have either, a strong community of market participants, which, yes, blue chips do. But really, it's the communities that are within meme coins. That is where you are going to see the biggest multipliers, and from a great starting point as well. Let me show you this. This isn't updated, actually. This is an aged list now. If I was to add some newer ones, then there'd be way more in the 100x plus field. But I use this as an example, all right? All of the coins that are presently in my, my buy list, basically. So, if I can find it, this, right? As you can see, I've listed it here by market cap. There's a few, above 2.5 million, right? A few. But the majority, and that's not an exhaustive list, by the way, the majority are 2.5 million, right? So, the simple 100x formula, what I have deduced, and these aren't even with super cycles, these are just with bull trends, okay? These aren't with blow-off tops, right? The starting cap for these coins to really, really flourish is typically under 2.5 million, right? I mean, some of these have been in the hundreds of thousands, which is why I love speculating in this area, right? And there have been some outliers, like for instance, Virtual's Protocol 30 million, which still did a 100x plus, which is, in my opinion, unbelievable, right? However, You know, in my opinion, the absolute sweet spot is 2.5 million, 2.53 million thereabouts, right? For the 100Xs. Because it's just much easier from that point of view. So just think about the fact that my best performers that all did 100X plus were under 2.5 million, and yet we're not yet in the super cycle, and we've got a ton of them waiting at that level right now, right? So we're just absolutely poised. And the thing is that cryptocurrency is very illusion based. You know, the market is extremely fickle. When the market is looking great, everything looks great. It's like you're drunk and you're in a bar, right? I'm not talking necessarily for myself, but when you're male and you're drunk and in a bar, women look very attractive, right? When you're drunk, because you got the beer goggles on. Every woman looks attractive, even though if you were sober, they look, they look like the back end of, doesn't matter. They look like shit, basically, right? Even if you're sober, you think they look like shit. When you're drunk, they look sexy. And when the money starts flowing in, that's the equivalent of being drunk. Everything looks sexy. But then when you're sober, you know, when you have absolutely no want to spend any money, everything looks ugly. So right now, everything looks ugly. But there's going to come a point where everything is going to look very sexy. And these are going to be like even now, like I know for a fact, you know, Leah, Colin, Aria, like right now, people are like, nah, AI. Don't care. Right? Even right now, people ask me in my last stream, Super, what about the AI agents? No, I don't care right now. I don't care right now. But there is going to come a point where people are going to be buying the shit out of all of these. They are going to be like, it's just going to be a constant stream of buy. It's just going to go, It's going to be upline, just like with magic. It's just going to be like this, basically. That is what we are going to see with altcoins. You know, people are just going to be buying up, and the earliest is going to be the one that reaps the most rewards. But everything is poised right now. We are poised. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Right? So I believe the setup is coming. And I believe we are going to absolutely nail this bull run. It's going to happen this time. It's going to happen. And what I will say to you is I don't know when it's going to end. I remember in 2021, people were like, Suppo, send out a notification, like send us all a post when you think it's over. And I didn't, and it was over way before I knew it would be. Yeah, I thought it was going to last until January 2022. And actually, it ended November 2021, right? It just stopped dead, right? Got front run, right? So I am not going to be sending out a message saying, this is the top. Because I don't know when the top is. No one does. But what I would say is you need to have in mind a figure that makes you set, right? This is it. This is it, right? We've been leading up to this now since 2022, right? Since the bearish of the bearishness back in November 2022, where we had FTX go down and all these other things. This is so long ago, I can't even remember what happened. I can't even remember the fund that went down. I want to say 3 circles. It wasn't 3 arrows or so. I can't even remember anymore, right? But during the most bearish of the bearishness at that time, this is what we've been working towards. Like, it's the final stretch now. If you think about cryptocurrency as a 400-meter track, ever since 2022, we have been running around that track, right? And now we are just coming up towards the straight. We've just done 300 meters. I believe we are now on the home stretch. And now we are going towards the finish line. And it's going to be a case of, are you going to grab victory, i.e., are you going to take profits at the optimal time? And that's while everything's going up. And you're going to be, again, illusion-based. That's everything in cryptocurrency is illusion, right? You think when the market's in free flow mode and money flow is just pumping, you think it's never going to end. It does end, right? You only need to go back to March and December, January to remember. March last year, December, January this year. You only have to remember that to know that it does get taken away, right? So while it's pumping is when you need to be getting out, right? And that's where you grab victory. I remember in 2021, I saw Star Launch, which I got for 6 cents, was $22, and I sold 10% of it. 10%! I had the whole lot, and I sold 10% of it. It was a 200x. It was probably more than that. And I was just sitting on it. Oh yeah, I'll sell 10% now. Probably sell 10% in a week's time. No, next week, bang, gone down 50%. Instant, 200x is now 100x. And I was like, oh, I've got to sell a bit more. But it's probably going to come back, so I'm going to wait and sell the 80% when it comes back. Never came back. And I lost it all. And that's what can happen on the home stretch, is your legs are full of lactic acid and you can't finish. The finish line's right there, but it evades you, right? You have got to play this right. You've got to be taking profits. And when I say taking profits, don't sell it all. You can't sell it all. When you sell all, let's assume you've got 20k in a particular coin on this list, right? If you sell it all, you'll end up with 8k, right? What you do is you just chip away at it. Just chip away. When the market's looking great, you chip away at it, right? Just take little profits. Don't try and get rid of it all, because if you get rid of it all, you crash the chart. People buy up that chart. You're out. They're making the money. You fucked up. No, so you just take a little bit out, like a grand, take out a grand, you know, every now and again, just take out a grand, but make sure that you are, just laddering out, DCAing out. That's what you need to be doing. We're getting there. We're not there yet. We don't even need to be thinking about DCAing out at this point, but it's important for you to know how to play the home straight. The home straight is the most fun part. Because it's like everybody is kind of running against each other, you know, because it's player versus player in cryptocurrency. You may think that the person next door, you know, the person that you talk to in crypto is a friend of yours. Oh, let's stay in. No, it's everybody for themselves, right? So everybody's going to be sprinting towards the light. You need to be making sure that you are thinking about yourself to an extent, whilst also, if you're in these communities, not killing it for everybody else, right? But again, don't have to think about it. But this is the most fun part. Running. Now, at this point, if you're thinking of every single market participant right now, we are leading. Because most people are dumb as fuck, listening to stupid YouTubers and buying the shit out of these big cap altcoins, right? They're probably right now buying Polkadot. $156 million. What the fuck, right? So a lot of people, dumb as shit, are buying stupid assets, and basically, even though osmosis is going to allow them to make a profit, they're not going to be winning, right? They're going to turn $1,000 into $4,000. Ooh, big whoopee fucking do, right? We can turn $1,000 into 100, if not more. 300, 400, 500k. Right? So we are beating every single motherfucker, right? However, they're going to win if you do not take out your profits, okay? So I need to make that very, very clear, right? The way you win the race is just by selling little bits over time. And not now. Not now. I am talking like November, December, January, maybe. Again, I don't know. For all I know, we could see a massive blow-off pump in September, October, and November. It's all dead. It's all gone. It's all done. Right? But what you do know is that the hockey stick does occur. It's always occurred. In all of crypto history, there's always been a hockey stick at the end, where it's just like the market has been sideways for the longest time, and then bang! Market sideways the longest time, bang! There's always a hockey stick right at the end. Now, at this point, this looks like a ginormous hockey stick, which to an extent it kind of is. But you got to remember, this is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, this is the first ever time it's been an ETF season. So actually, maybe the better thing would be to have total 3, excluding Bitcoin, right? And basically, what you have got is the equivalent of 2021 right now. Like, it's not even there, right? Now, if we go back in the past, look, 2017, that's the equivalent of this, right? Not even there, because if we go back to the top of 2021, look, you know, you've got, what the hell? There's something wrong here. Why is it saying 800 billion? Oh, that literally is it. Yeah, when you take off Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's literally all you've got left. Jesus. Okay, anyway. So, what you've got with the entirety of the altcoin season is we haven't had that hockey stick movement for alts, right? We haven't had it. So we had it back in 2017, had it back in 2021, and we've not really had it this time. You know, because look, we have to be well in excess of the previous all-time high. Now, as you can see, what's this? 240% difference between the altcoin market top in 2017 and the altcoin market top in 2021. Right? 240% difference. Now let's have a look at the difference between 2021 and right now. Okay, so right now it is minus 20%. So where we're going to be looking for then, if we're going to be following the typical market structure, is we should be seeing, you know, something more along the lines of, you know, up here, you know, well up here, right? And so the hockey stick, that's what we're looking for, all right? Hockey stick, all we've done is hockey stick downwards, right? We need to hockey stick upwards in this zone here, right? That is the ladder out zone, all right? So I don't really use this thing, okay? So bear with me. So when it goes up like that to 3 trillion, like, here's the ladder out zone, okay? Like here, right? If we're going to be seeing a hockey stick, that's the ladder out zone. Maybe little tiny bits here, just so you've banked some. But that's what you're going to be doing, right? Now, you don't know at what point this top's going to be. You know, for all we know, you know, this top could be, you know, somewhere up here. Who fucking knows? But the point of the matter is that you're going to be so majorly winning at this point that it doesn't really matter if you get out here. Because put it this way, there will be a day where it just kind of flops like that. Well, okay, maybe not like that exactly, but it will kind of flop, you know, kind of like that. Okay, and you're going to be like, oh shit, good thing I did sell, I banked something, right? And then next day, it's probably going to go like that, and it's going to go like that. And then like that, and then like that. And it's just going to keep going down. And then we're going to be, you know, probably previous tops. Maybe. You know, I don't know for sure. Right? But if we're going to be having a global recession in 2026, or, you know, maybe after that, then, you know, you never know quite where we're going to end up going. But anyway, this is it. This is the tactic. Right? We're on the road. All right? But we're not even started yet. Okay? So while I'm actually talking about how you play it, we're not even there yet. We're looking for these to get, you know, 50 million. These kind of things. 50 million, 100 million. Like, we are looking for... Not all of them are going to do it. Okay, not all will do it. But you don't need all to do it. You just need a few select ones. Hence my selection. My very, very select selection, which is going to be growing. You know? So, anyway. Right, now, let me just take some questiones. Let's see what you guys have to say. Maybe we'll inspire some more talking points. Women's Euros start Wednesday. Do you think the Solana token Maddie will do well? No, I don't. I think it'll probably do shit, to be fair, because no one gave a fuck about the Euros, you know, for the men. So I think they're going to give even less fucks for women. Alright, let's start from the start, then take it away. My name isn't Simpson Bartholomew J. Giga Chadet. Good to see representation, Billy Bags. What do you think of the swear name Suck? I like it. That's funny. Magic is magic. Could it be magic now? Now, in my last video, look at the top comment. The top comment was, I don't think I deleted it. And now I can't find it, which is very, very typical when one is live. But basically, somebody said, oh, so you've got to pay. Here we go. Dude, you're crazy. 4K to join your... 4K, right? 4K. Yeah? 4K. Let me show you something. Magic did a 50x. Did a 50x. So whenever I did this video, on whatever day it was, right, 3 days ago, Magic was still a tiny coin at that point. Like, if you were in the group, this coin went from a 14k market cap to a 700k market cap. It did a 60x. Now, if you put $1,000 into Magic, oh, well, what would that be right now? A hell of a lot more than fucking 4k. So it just goes to show you that, you know, basically, memberships, certain memberships pay for themselves. Right? So anyway, let's carry on. Is Feet Coin on here? Have I added Feet Coin? Yes, I have. Yes, we are. 717. Yes, Fuck 9 to 5. I just saw. It's actually in my thumbnail. They haven't yet updated the Twitter, but yes, they have. And it's just perfection, basically. So they've got a new logo, and this is the great thing about meme coins, is that they're community based. So it's all about, you know, it's the sum of its parts. That's the great thing about meme coins, right? What you've got with your traditional cryptocurrencies is you've got the founders, the VCs, and the huge KOLs or influencers at the top, right? They're the ones that control the biggest amounts of the money, right? And they can just literally, they don't have to do shit, right? They just do a couple of tweets a day. The technology does nothing, and all they're doing is literally just selling every day, right? That's what they're doing, right? Because the sum is greater than the parts, right? But with meme coins, the parts are greater than the sum. Because if one person is on is doing the tweets, another person is coming up with innovations, other ideas, another person, you know, is managing the Telegram, another person managing the website, and then you've just got and then you've got a load of collective community members doing the marketing. Because everybody's equal in meme coins. It's completely unequal in the big blue chip coins. Like, only the big wigs make the money, and all the minnows get fuck all, and they get dumped on, and they get ditched, right? So meme coins are the greatest equalizer in crypto. When I first joined crypto were a bit like meme coins. Altcoins were like meme coins. Like, it was the big FU to the financial system. But now, Bitcoin and blue chips are basically just like the financial system, where it robs the little guys and makes the big guys richer. And that's just how it is. And that's why meme coins are your savior. And that kind of movement is exemplified by Fuck 9 to 5. And, you know, they have come up with this new logo, which is, you know, way more rebellious, way more poignant, and, you know, has actually got the potential to rival SPX 6900. And, you know, at the very beginning of when I was first talking about Fuck 9 to 5, is that this was an SPX 6900 competitor. So look, you know, the building blocks are there. And, you know, at the end of the day, SPX was nowhere without Murad. So, you know, so really, it's just a coin like any other, right? And Fuck 9 to 5 has the potential to be where SPX is. It really does. There's only one factor differentiating Fuck 9 to 5 and SPX. That's Murad. But guess what? I'm bigger than Murad. So we'll see. Fat 95 feet coin. Oh, hold on. Fat 95 feet coin have a starting price blah blah blah, but fat coin starting with blah blah blah, and feet coin can be just $1. Even fat coin SPX do not have no fat coin and SPX do not have 100x anyway. Not from where it is right now. It just doesn't. They will outperform Bitcoin stock market, and arguably Fartcoin and SPX will outperform Chainlink, Ondo, and all the rest of it, but they won't outperform me. Blaze is 14 years old, 1 million market cap's too high. And that's the other great thing about meme coins, is that you actually really have a chance to make a 100x in meme coins. But if you're already starting from a position of 1 million on some shit like that, then then you're basically probably going to do just as well as you would with render. So I wouldn't even bother. Archie and some of these jerks advocating their 5x bags. Exactly. Like I saw earlier, well, it might not have been earlier, but it was certainly a couple of days ago, I saw that Ansem was like, oh, you're not going to be having Hyperliquid at a 30 billion market cap for long. And I'm thinking, is this guy taking the piss? What the hell? Ass. That's grim. Yeah, so he's like, oh, Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid's already one of the top cryptos. Like, you gotta be fucking retarded to listen to this guy. I don't understand how 740 people actually think this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. What an idiot. Or it can go up and down 20%. Fucking ridiculous. What do you think about Stupid Coin? Honestly, I think it's a great name, but I don't like the market cap, so leaving well alone. So what's the deal with Rita? Don't care. Rita sounds like a stupid name. Feetcoin easy 100x. I agree. I mean, I've been looking at Feetcoin. I've been observing them. And I mean, these guys have been doing a fantastic job. Like, the quality of the tweets is magnificent. Like, this is everything that you want. This is everything that you want from a foot coin. This is it. This is the absolute fetish fest. Not like the other one, the other pathetic one. Like, if you go to the other feet coin, this shit, look, they don't even care. Last tweet was like 25th. They don't even care. Where's the feet? None. There's this stupid animation. There's one picture of feet, and then there's nothing. Oh, there's another one, right? You go to feet coin. What you want from feet coin is feet. That's all you want. You just want feet pics, yeah? I need to like some of these. What you want is you just want feet pics, and that's what you've got with these guys. Like, it is literally the #1 fetish in the world, right? And it's a secret fetish, so most people, that's why I've noticed not many people are actually like making comments, because people don't want to say they like feet, right? But I mean, it's a fetish fest, simple as that. And I think that when it comes to just the pure shock value and virality of the name anyway, when people say I've got feet coin, it just hits a spot, doesn't it? You just know. And when you say to the average person that I've got feet coin, they're just gonna get it. They're gonna be shocked. They're gonna remember it. They're gonna be like, really? Feet coin? And they're never gonna forget that name. But if you give them Chainlink and you ask them a week later, oh, do you remember what I told you I had? No. But if you tell them you got feet coin, oh, they'll remember. Now, a year later, they'll probably be saying, how's your feet coin doing? You just you get it, don't you? Like, you understand what I'm talking about, don't you? Right? And that's why I think that this has such incredible upside potential. Because imagine, it's just going to be a flex when people have it in their in their wallets, basically. I know that Sigma is 20 million market cap, but I think it's an exception to the rule. Yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking that Sigma's going to do a 100x. Okay, so Sigma, this is a kind of minor Murad play, but I love it. personally. I think it's a great mindset crypto, and it's just something I like being part of the community of. And it's the same with GigaChad. Like, I got into GigaChad really late, actually. I got into GigaChad when it was about, I think it was about 400 million at the point I got in. Like, I got in like super late, and I actually didn't DCA in to to bring my cost average down, because I don't care so much for it, but I like being part of the community, right? It's just a flex to have it, and it'll be the same with Feetcoin and a lot of the coins that I speak about. 95, they're gonna be real flexes. Like, they're gonna be flex to have them. Highlight of the day was watching a Colin Talks Crypto video talking about how he thinks, yeah, PulseX can do a 1000x. Like, people are literally just too stupid to understand economics. Like, it's just not outside of the realms of possibility. Like, PulseX isn't going to even do a 10x. Suppo, what would you, as a beginner right now with $200 to spend? I'm not going to answer that question, because that is essentially financial advice, and I'm not going to be giving that out. Stop investing on memes. G-Analyze, whoever you are, like, you're the one that's missing out. Like, I don't give a fuck if you don't want to invest in memes. It's okay for you. You know, if you want to stick to your 2-3x's, fine, do it. Don't care. No one likes feet, dude. Yeah, okay. If no one likes feet, then why is it 800k market cap, ass munch? What do you think? Crypto gains coin, MMIP. That's dead. Memes make it possible. It's fucking dead. He doesn't care, right? And I don't blame him, because it's a shit concept. He only did it for a test, you know. Like, crypto gains, I'm sure if he was to do it again, he would think of something way more shock value, something that had a lot more longevity in it, right? He wouldn't be doing memes make it happen, because it's just like, as a ticker it sucks. MMIP, it sucks bad. Like, it's got zero appeal other than the fact he made it and promoted it. Where's Harry? He's not here right now. Super, you're my favorite crypto YouTuber by a mile. Thank you very much, Rocky. What's your thoughts on Solex? Come on, like, please, like, don't bring the tone of the conversation, don't bring the IQ of the conversation down with a piece of shit. Look, what the fuck, man? It's 53 million market. What the fuck is 289 million? Like, why would anybody bring this to my attention? Like, come on. Like, be reasonable. That's just stupid. We are the cabal, exactly. And that is the absolute flex of Suppoman, right? Which, only over time, I'm not going to say, but only over time will people realise what a fucking awesome opportunity this was the whole time, right? It's not going to be until it's too late, and people are going to be buying in at the end. What's your thought on Keanu's sleaze? Stupid. Just think it's a stupid. Like, come on. Like, we need to get names. I'll tell you one name. I'll tell you one cryptocurrency I actually have liked this week, and that's Mooncoin. Right? Not because of the website, because I haven't even really actually looked at the website, but purely on name alone. Mooncoin just sounds like SafeMoon, right? And that's what you want. You want one of those coins that makes you feel like you're holding something that's going to pump. You're holding something that just says kind of what it is, right? And so in the last week, this is the only coin, I would say, that I've actually liked the look of. And earlier, it was like 2.5 mil. Cabal just came out. Yeah, I saw that. It's one of the trending ones, isn't it? I haven't looked at it. Cabal, so it's basically, what's this? It's just like, it's like useless, but turned 90 degrees. Yeah, I don't really see the point of this. We're carrying one of the biggest movers on the space, also bonk ecosystem. Yeah, I've heard that, there's a few ecosystems going on, like Pump, Launchcoin, Moonshot, Bonk. Like there's a few like it's like this is just how big Solana's gotten, that there are ecosystems within ecosystems. Like it's just fucking awesome. So yeah, I can see why people, because I think, did Useless come out of Bonk? I can't even remember. But you know, to me this looks like extremely weak execution. It's just anybody kind of come up with dumb idea. And I bet you in a week's time this will be nowhere. Bet you. Suck coin on Solana. It sounds stupid. This sounds stupid. Like if you were to tell your friend, I'm in suck coin, they just think that they'll think you're a sea sucker, put it that way. So it's not a flex to say I'm in suck coin. Lolcoin, I think Lolcoin's still awesome. I think Lolcoin's still got super duper potential, just purely on the lore alone. Super, is gaming dead, or do you see a bull run this season? How do you see Gun performing? I do think it has the chance to come back. I won't say it definitively will, but I think that there will be some form of gaming season, because, you know, there probably will be just like a mini, maybe couple of weeks or something where games go up. I don't know. I couldn't say. You know, all I will say is that categories that tend to be super suppressed do make a return. They do. Somehow, some way. And, you know, guns, this is ridiculous. I'll be honest with you. I think this is just ridiculous that a gaming project of this magnitude, like, I know we're not in a gaming season, but we're not in a deep-in season. You know, we're not in an RWA season. And yet, you know, you've got the big blue chips still at billion-dollar valuations, and this, which is the blue chip of gaming, is 20 million. Like, I think there is going to be a point this just absolutely spikes to high heaven. I don't know when, but I know it will. It will at some point, because look, these guys, I think they spent 20 million just on the soundtrack for the game. You know, this is just a mega sensation, right? So I think I'm very surprised this one has been allowed to dump because of the VCs that got in it. I would have thought there would be a obligation on the influencers to be making content about this regardless of what's happening in the market, but they're not, you know. So I do think it's great though. Sinver still good, yeah, still like it. Harry, am I in it? Yeah, I am in Harry, yeah. I'm in the coin, Harry, yeah. Also Bloodloop, yeah, I mean, the narrative is only as strong as the strongest performer, and Bloodloop is without doubt absolutely not a strong performer. Right? So Guns is the key leader here. But Bloodloop at this price, a market cap of under $1 million. Like a year ago, this seemed completely impossible. Right? Because, you know, Alex Becker got into Bloodloop. I saw the OTC deals on Bloodloop. You couldn't get Bloodloop less than 3x the ICO price, the IDO price. Like literally the demand for this was so enormous, and that's 10 cents we're talking about, right? So you couldn't even get Bloodloop pre-market for 3x, you know, for less than 3x the IDO price, and now it's 10x below the IDO price. Like, that is just ridiculous. But it's super suppressed, and there is going to come a point it's going to go and blow the roof off. Right, I'll take a couple more questions. As people know, this encroaches into my father-son time. So let me just see. Let me just get a check. Is Blue still alive and kicking? I don't think any project really is at this point kicking, but they are alive. Fong. Never heard of that one. Are you taking the piss? Huge mind share. I'm just going to delete you from the chat, I think. It's just getting me to look at some shit for no good reason. What's the situation? Oh, good to see you in here. Good to see you. I haven't seen you on a live since 1984. What's your opinion on the coin retire? Which one is it? I'm taking it as this one. Has it not got a website? Oh, there we are. Website. Official manifesto on retire. Last pay financial independence. Yak, yak, yak. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All retires better. So what's the point in even looking at that shit? Morph AI. Wagme, why do you keep asking the same damn question? I have looked at that coin before. Like, I don't know why you keep asking me to look at it, because it's not changed. You're going to flip Murad. Thank you very much, Pulse. I appreciate that. League of its own content consistently. Snoop Dogg share at a 3 million market cap. Sounds stupid. Leah, I think Leah's strong still. Leah's actually doing incredibly well. So Leah... Aha, right, I'm going to have to go in 3 minutes. Leah has just started... I think she's now an in-app, an in-website app now as well. I think. Let me just look. No, roadmap. So I think that she is now available to chat to without the interface. I think it might be this bit. I can't be sure. But what I do know is what I think is the best part would be this bit. That would be what I'm very much looking forward to. You know, that's coming soon. But at the same time, you just got to be patient to an extent. There's a small window by which projects are like, they're probably withholding at this point. They're withdrawing. Now withholding. We're waiting, right? They're just going at a pace, right? You know what I mean, don't you? They're going at a pace. Not too fast, it'll be over too quick. Not too slow that the other goes to sleep. But it's just going at a pace. You know when to turn it on. And that is what's happening right now. Like, until we get to the point that the catalyst occurs, you know, until this point, there is little point in bringing out really top developments, because it isn't going to amount to anything long term. It's just going to be a short-term spike, pump and dump, back to normal, right? What you want is you want to be, you know, doing a magic, basically. If I can re-find it. What you want to be doing is you want to be doing this, where you are just kind of, this is what you're doing. You're going up. You're not going up and down. You're going up, right? Just keep going up. And that is what, you know, these coins need to do. So what they need to do is they need to wait for the right time to unleash the most bullish developments, and then bang. And that's why you're just sat there poised, okay? It's a little bit like when you're in a relay, right? You come onto the home straight, you're against the other person, your legs are fresh, you're in second place, but you're just on the shoulder of first place. And you just know you've got the legs for it. You just know. But you don't go too early, right? So that's you know, basically what we're doing right now. We're just on the shoulder of victory. We're just on the shoulder, right? But you just, not yet. Hold back, right? That's what this is. Beautiful time. I'm personally extremely excited. Mooncoin manipulators Mooncoin creators manipulating price action so you can see us buying and selling. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't care about this coin necessarily. The point I was making is the name. All right, the name Mooncoin. It's a fucking awesome name. All right, great implementation. This is execution in terms of great name, great logo, Not necessarily amazing regarding the website. The website could be so much better. But you get the point, right? You get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Hey, press 1 in the chat if you love jollof rice. Cypherium. Come off it. Cypherium's a pile of shit. Mirai, yeah, again, that's another one. Stunning on the shoulders. Metados. Yeah. I mean, all these coins. I mean, if there's a gaming narrative, put it this way, these are all going to be coming back. Yeah. And I hope they do, because they're still in my portfolio. Just at this point, very, very... Holly Vlogs. Who on earth is Holly Vlogs? Let's have a look. It's not often that you see a verified channel coming into your thingy. So Holly Vlogs. Would love your thoughts on Corey. Let's have a look then. Let me be prepared to be underwhelmed. Ah, it's a Pomeranian. How awesome. Meet Corey. Most famous Pom on the internet. I've never heard of him. 86 million, 1 billion views. What the fuck? Well, clearly it has got an army of fans at 4.5 mil. I wouldn't touch it myself, but I do love Poms. By far, one of the most catchy names is Low Cap. Hold on a minute. Super, can you please share your opinion on QQQ Nas Crack? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's very, very similar to Stack, which is my favourite. Obviously, it's not as low a market cap, but I like this. This is cool. It's good. I like it. Super thoughts on Super already given. Suppoman. Not a lot. What do you all think of Alex Becker's ESS? Let's delete. What about Pomcoin? Pomcoin's dead. Will low cap be popular when it becomes a high cap? Of course it'll be fucking popular. It'll be extremely popular. Because it'll have to have done a 1000x to get there. Yeah, this is cool. I like ass stack. But don't get me wrong, I still prefer ass. Thoughts on Pump It sound stupid. Guys, when I ask you for names, like, you need names like feet. Feet coin. Like, come on. You get it. Like something that makes you feel excited, you know? Oh. Hold on. Hold on. 2 seconds. Give me 1 second. If you like Poms, and here, this is the Pom. This is a new addition to the Suppo family. Well, I'm not going to say the name, because otherwise people are going to be making meme coins about it. But there we are. This is the proper Pom. Oh, she's so pretty. Alright, there we go. Right, okay. I think that's a good point to end on, to be honest. By the way, people, if you could be so kind and to smash a like on this video. Yeah, back on my channel. Smash a like on this video. I would be very, very grateful. But what I will say is that I personally believe that we have got a major catalyst coming. And my personal belief is that with these coins and more that are going to be introduced, we are going to be making seismic gains. So there we are, people. Thank you very much for joining today. I appreciate all yours attendance. And I will see you of the next time. It is lights out, all out.